Michael.
I don't know.
Michael Corleone.
I don't know.
What, the dog? Like Michael?
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Welcome to the class, everybody. Welcome back to Verbling. This is my last class of the day. And we will be doing, having a discussion about idioms that start with P. But before we do that, we're going to have a little conversation. So we're going to practice talking to each other about different topics. Then we'll get into our conversation or our lesson about idioms and use them to fill in blanks and exercises at the end of the class. Hello, Amp. Welcome back.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm lovely. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. How's your weekend been so far?
Nothing special, but it has been good.
I'm glad to hear it. Nice to have you with me in class again.
Thank you.
Leonardo, welcome.
Thank you.
Perdón? Oh, sorry. Pardon?
No, I say thank you.
Okay. Sorry, the odd time a Spanish word comes out. It's strange how that happens. And Omar, welcome back.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking, Omar. It's nice to have you here. And
Excellent.
what's happening in your town this weekend? Any exciting events?
No, nothing special at all.
You know what I just realized? It's a long weekend in Canada. Does anybody know why?
Give us a hint.
It has to do with Canada.
Something related to like Day of Canada? Or?
It's Canada Day, July 1st.
Yeah?
Wow.
I guess.
I am a terrible excuse for a Canadian. I don't even know the holidays that exist. Z, am I dreaming?
Hey, hi, Abby. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Okay, great.
Good. You've got a new picture and you put your name back to Z.
Just for you, just for you.
Thank you very much. I like that picture. Is that real or did you find it on the internet?
Yeah, just hot balloon picture.
Hot air balloon
Hot
picture.
Yeah.
Good. Is anybody watching the World Cup this weekend, or is anybody interested in what's going on?
No.
Well, I knew that. Certainly not your cup of tea. Anybody else? Me, you, and Amp. We're not interested.
Me too.
Yes, we know that Brazil is in the next round.
Okay, so what's happening? Anybody want to tell us what's going on? Who's winning? Who's promising?
It was Brazil and Chile, and the last the score was 1-1, and then they have a half hour. After that, they still were tied, so they just have to score 5 goals, and they Chile failed the last one, so that is why Brazil.
I don't believe that you're not interested in football anymore.
No, but my family, yes. So
You know
everybody is
every
watching.
detail.
What was that, Amp? Your family is interested in it?
Sure.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. So that's like me and hockey. I'm not a huge hockey person, but when everybody around you is talking about hockey finals and the playoffs, then you start to hear enough to know what's going on. What about you, Leonardo? Are you interested in what's going on with the World Cup?
Me too. Just I finished watching Brazil versus Chile.
And who won?
Brazil.
When's the next game?
The next for Brazil? Brazil versus Uruguay.
Oh, that's right. I think I've asked.
Yes.
See, I can't even remember that.
I'm very happy that player that Bite Airways it's go out now.
I'm happy that you're happy. That's good. Omar, are people in your country interested in what's going on with the World Cup or not so much?
Yeah, of course, they are very interested. But for me, I'm interested, but I can't follow up the matches because of my work, unfortunately.
Because of work? Work?
Yeah.
Do you work even on the weekends, Omar? You're working today?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to keep on top of those things if you're not able to be at home watching them. And what about you, Z? Are you interested in what's going on or not so much?
No, I'm not a soccer fan, but there was a game on Wednesday or Thursday. It was
Mm-hmm.
Portugal versus some other country, but it was if they won, the US won't advance to the next round. And a lot of people I know were watching that game. So yeah, yeah. But I'm not interested though, not at all.
No, it's not your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened. I had a document with a discussion question exercise on it, and it seems to have disappeared. Maybe it's, give me 1 second. It seems to have completely gone. Wait 1 second. It's gone. It's disappeared. So we'll get started with our lesson on idioms, and then if we have time at the end, we can continue our conversation game, okay? So go ahead and open up the document. It looks...
We need permission.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yes, we can't open.
There we go. Then I get a million emails saying so-and-so wants permission to open up your document. It should be good to go now. Go ahead and click on it again or refresh the page and you should be allowed in. Okay. And I'll go over to the Google chat. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So our first idiom, maybe we could have Leonardo. Would you like to read it for us? Read the first
Yes,
idiom on the document.
Still loading.
Okay. No problem.
It's very slow here.
I'll put it on my screen as well, and then you can see it from there.
Okay, the first idioms.
Just read the very first idiom for us.
Pain in the neck.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Mean that my neck hurting.
Yes, literally speaking, it certainly does. Your neck is hurting. However, when we're talking about an idiom, what does it mean? Can you read the highlighted definition there?
Sorry?
Read the highlighted part of the document. Pain in the neck means?
Annoying, irritating.
Excellent. So Leonardo, today we are talking about idioms or expressions. They are not literal. It's not a literal, ouch, my neck. It's an annoying or irritating thing, okay? So tell me, what annoys you? What do you consider? Leonardo?
Yes, I have some problem with sound. Okay.
What annoys you?
What do you consider to be a pain in the neck?
Yes.
Uh,
What annoys you?
I can't get the answer, the question.
Okay, this is what we'll do. We will ask another student so you can see an example of an answer, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Amp, you answer it for us. What annoys you? Or what's a pain in your neck?
Hearing a lot of people shouting, it's a pain in my neck.
Hearing a is a why? Why does that make you feel that way?
Yeah, because I cannot stand them.
Very good. What about you, Z? What's a pain in the neck for you? Try to give us an answer that maybe we wouldn't think of.
uh, uh, hot weather. It's a pain in the neck.
Hot weather is a pain in the neck. Why do you say that?
Because then you sweat a lot and you have to drink water every now and then to keep yourself hydrated. And just that humidity makes me feel really uncomfortable. Comfortable.
Uncomfortable. Z, where you're living right now, what's the weather like? Is it hot and
Yeah,
difficult?
it's not too hot. It's
But
82 right now. It's 82 right now.
ooh, I think in Celsius. I don't know what that is.
Oh, 82. That's about 35
Okay.
Celsius.
Oh, I love that weather. That sounds like great weather.
Okay.
We should all go to the beach. I'll go to the beach where Z lives. Good. What about you, Omar? What is something that is a pain in the neck for you?
Complainers. People who complains a lot.
Awesome answer, Omar. Complainers, a complete sentence using the idiom?
Oh yeah, complainers are like a pain in the neck for me.
Excellent. Nobody likes a complainer, do they?
Yeah.
Nobody likes a complainer. That's really true. Michael.
Sorry. Maybe when you're calling to some company to solve an issue, and you should stay like for more than 20 minutes on hold and to wait available person to help you with the question. Like there is a music and you're listening like for more than 20 minutes and you should hang up and again call and like that several times and the problem is not solved. So
Okay, very good. Has anybody experienced something that was irritating or annoying to them this week? Who has experienced something that was irritating or annoying this week? Nobody? Okay, let's go to our next idiom. Any questions or additional examples? This next one was new for me when I read it, so we're going to use it together. Let's have Ali read it for us.
Pen is mightier than the sword. This means that writing communication is more powerful, effective than words fighting.
Very
It's
good.
like proverb, not idiom.
It's like what, sorry?
Proverb.
It's a proverb, exactly. So, Ali, give me an example of when this is true. When is this?
For example, in last few years, there is a Arabic Spring, a kind of a revolution in the Middle East. I think communication is very important part of these revolutions. Something like that.
Wow. Okay. So I'm not really sure what you said. I understood your English, but I guess I don't understand the issue. So
people communicate on social media or something like that. Read articles or and organized, I think.
Okay. So how has that benefited them? How has that been beneficial?
Maybe you are a journalist and you write an article or you write a news on your newspaper. Many people read them and impress it, or you affect many people and they do something about.
Very good. Okay. Thank you. Good example. Anyone else want to give me an example of when it's true that the pen is mightier than the sword? In what situations is that true?
Um, Generally, governments are afraid of what appear in newspapers because they know that the pen is mightier than the sword.
Absolutely. That's true. What are they afraid of? What are they afraid will be published or written?
Hmm. That the people can decide to finish the government and became a dictator. Someone can be, or that the army take the power.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is where that's why they, for example, here they are just establishing a new law, yeah, about communication.
Because
Okay.
they make people aware about events, what's going on around.
Exactly, right? So sometimes maybe they would rather it be quiet. Does anyone maybe hear stories about how their government or people in politics like to hide information or keep it a secret so that the general public doesn't learn of it? Does anyone have a story about something like that? Okay. Z, when do you think the pen is mightier than the sword?
Uh, uh, I think it's true because now intelligence is considered more
Public
valuable
doesn't learn
than
of it? Does anyone have a story about something like that? Oh, I hate hearing my own voice.
what was that?
It's painful. Sorry, Z, continue.
It's
Yeah,
such in
I
the
mean, if you
pain
think
in the
about it, the leader and the guy who are in charge are not necessarily the strongest, but they are a lot of time the smartest guy around. And the more you know, the more people look up to you, I think.
Mm-hmm. Good
Yeah.
answer. Really good answer. Thank you for sharing. What about in relationships? When is the pen mightier than the sword in relationships? Michael.
Well, in relationships, that's definitely true because you should um, know, for example, if there is an issue or a problem, you should know the cause and you should know all the details about that and solve by communication with your spouse. Yeah, can I say spouse?
Spouse, or you could say partner if it's not
Partner.
a legal marriage yet.
Oh, okay, with your partner. Rather than to fight, like to argue or something, because in that situation no one wins. Both they are losing something.
Good answer. Very good answer. Anyone else want to talk about when it's better or when it's a good thing or true in relationships?
In relationship, in my opinion, when, for example, sometimes the words hurt more than the action.
Absolutely, that's true. That is true. So you're kind of using it in a negative way. I like it. That's absolutely true. Maybe physical harm is easier to handle or accept than verbal harm. That's a good point, Leonardo. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else?
I think both harms are a part of the sword. I mean, physical and with words. They are part of the sword of fighting.
Mm-hmm. Very true. It could be any kind of fighting. It could be verbal. It could be some kind of attack. What about in family? Give me an example. Hi, Fidel. Are you with us? How's your connection?
Hi,
Hey, how you doing? Good to have you back.
thank you. Me too. I'm sorry, my computer shut down.
No problem. No worries. I'll include you for the next idiom so you can see where we're at, okay?
Thank you.
Who can tell me when the pen is mightier than the sword when it comes to family? Family. Why is it important and when does it make a difference?
Parents, they don't need to punish physically their children. Just talking to them, having a good communication, things can change.
Absolutely. Very true. Things could improve, right? Something to strive for. And what about when the pen is mightier than the sword when it comes to work or your professional life? Omar, what do you think?
Actually, I didn't understand this idiom pretty well, so I'm just trying to listen, try to.
Okay, no problem. Anyone want to give me an example of when that's true with work or professional life? Okay.
Well, by communication, you go to the root of the problem in the work. Like, for example, you have a problem, and by communicating with the people involved in that problem, you find out all the details, like why happened that, and you solve that problem. But by fighting is opposite. So you might not find the root of the problem, but you will solve the problem, but in a bad way, like in a poor way. Can I say in a poor way?
In a poor way, yes, you can.
Poorly, another.
Both ways, yeah. What do you guys think? Do you more often use the pen or the sword?
Pen.
Pen.
Only pen.
We are a bunch of pens.
Not so. Pen.
Would anyone admit to saying, well, I tend to be argumentative or I tend to fight before I communicate? Of course, nobody wants to admit it. But it's true. We can either be a pen or a sword in life, according to this proverb. Okay. Let's go to the next idiom, and maybe we could have Fidel read it for us.
I'm seeing it. People who live. I'm sorry, but sometimes it became blurred.
Let me zoom in.
Do you have the? Do you have? Well, or maybe you can link me to that. Okay. People who live in glass houses shooting throw stones. This means that criticize people for doing things that you do. Don't be a hypocrite.
Okay, excellent reading. So what do you think, Fidel? Give me an example when you think this is common.
Example.
I've got one in my head. Let's see who can figure out which one I'm thinking of. Who can read my mind?
Maybe when you are not how do you say when you put the things in orders in your house and They are all over the rooms and that kind of things. And then you go to your brother's rooms and say, "Come on, man, clean this this garbage." Sometimes your rooms is like this. It's like your brother's room. So maybe that's, I don't know if it's an example or not, or I don't know.
Good. Excellent example. Who else can give me an example when it's pretty common that people might act hypocritically or say something that's a bit hypocritical?
For example, a person lying too much and criticize another people why you are lying.
That's probably a really common one. Absolutely. You're a liar. But maybe they tell lies.
Or cheating his wife or her husband and criticize another person.
Yeah. You shouldn't be cheating on your wife when they're doing it, or vice versa, right? Good. Excellent example. Very true. I was thinking of gossiping. Z, what do you think? When it comes to gossiping, what sometimes happens?
Everyone says bad to gossip, but everybody does it to a certain degree. I mean, it's fun to gossip.
Yeah, exactly, right? So maybe, but isn't it common that you hear people, when the topic comes up, everyone goes, "Oh, gossiping's terrible. Nobody should ever gossip." But the reality is maybe everybody gossips from time to time. Anyone else think of an example of when it's common? What's the idea behind the idiom? People, if you live in a glass house, why shouldn't they throw stones? What's the idea behind the idiom?
Because if you have some weakness or some problem and you want to manage, manage someone, it back to you different way. Someone criticize you.
Or because you were you do you bad impressions about you. If you throw stones, you're gonna break it. You're gonna break your personality. You're gonna break your, I don't know, yourself, because people's gonna realize that you don't the people that you think you are, or how you do the things, something like that.
Absolutely, good. Wow, you guys are deep thinkers, very deep thinkers.
So, Abby, why people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? Like, what is the idea that if you throw the stone, what? You break your house or someone else would break your house? What's the idea?
The idea is that Ali pretty much hit it right on the head, right? If you're in your house and you're throwing stones, you're going to break down the very thing that you're telling other people. You know what I mean?
No, but literally, literal meaning.
Oh, literally, people who live
Yeah,
in glass
literally.
houses, if you throw a stone in a glass house, you're going to bust your house.
Yeah, but would you throw a stone in your house or in another house?
I see what you're saying. I think the point of view is if you're inside of the house and you throw a stone.
Okay. Why would you throw a
Am I
stone
wrong,
in
Ali?
your house?
What?
Oh, no. I think it's if you live in a glass house and you throw stones,
Okay.
that people. Oh, maybe I don't even.
Because you are inside, even when you are throwing something to someone else, you are going to
No,
crash
no.
your glasses.
It means your house is not very strong. Some people can break your house. Be careful. Don't make sad another people. That's why. Uh, it also use international relationships. I remember Turkey interest in, I don't know, maybe in Iraq. Some Turkish people live in Iraq, and Turkey wanted to do something about some people live in Iraq, and Iraq said, you have Kurdish problem. If you interested in our Turkish people, we can interest your Kurdish people, something like that.
Mm. It's interesting when we thinking about the actual idiom itself, even though we understand what it means and how to use it. You guys brought up an interesting point. I'm not really sure the point of view, but I understand where you guys are coming from for sure.
So, did we explain? Do you throw in your house stones or someone else? I want to know this.
Amp, what do you think? What's your final?
Oh, so we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I think because you are as fragile as another one, and you cannot see the defects in others if you also have the same defects.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, we must move on. Google it. I'm surprised you haven't done that already, Michael.
Yeah, me, I will do. I thought like someone new from the class, so maybe you know like the idea, because for me it's kind of weird. Like who would throw stones? Like other people or you in the house throw stones in your house?
No, it's because they live. It's nothing to do with breaking. It's to do with being able to see through the glass walls of somebody's house. So the throwing of the stone is criticizing other people, but your house or your private life, when people look through it, or if your life is you expose yourself, then people can see that you're being hypocritical. They see what you truly are.
Okay.
Okay, so if you live a life that's a little bit controversial, or if you have something in your life that maybe other people would consider offensive or wrong, you shouldn't be the one to criticize other people. That would be hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you were saying, right, Amp?
Yep.
Alrighty, let's go to our next one. That was. I'm glad you mentioned it, Michael, because sometimes in English we use idioms and we don't know where they've come from or what the meaning is behind.
Yep. And you know, I've googled actually many idioms, and there are very deep meanings in those idioms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the origin of the idiom, there is some history, and you can find in some idiom about some idioms.
I think it's clear. If you have some weakness, people can easily make a damage to you. You just sit on your house. Don't bother another person. It's meaning like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand it now. Thanks to you and Amp, because I was thinking something about breaking, but it has nothing to do with that. Okay, next idiom. Whoa, that was quite the conversation. Leonardo, can you read the next one for us?
Yes. Piece of cake. If you say that something is a piece of cake, this means that it's very easy to do.
Okay, so give me an example, Leonardo, of something that is a piece of cake for you.
My job is not a piece of cake, absolutely.
Why not?
It's very hard.
Okay, now tell me something that is a piece of cake for you.
It's a piece of cake. I don't know, maybe taking my dog out for a walking.
Excellent. Taking my dog. That's my sentence. What about you, Z? What's a piece of cake
I
for you?
was thinking about that.
You were?
I was thinking. Your sentence,
Z, what's a piece of cake for
you
you?
read my mind.
I think drawing's a piece of cake for me.
Drawing is a
Drawing
piece of cake,
picture.
and writing beautiful
Oh yeah.
writing.
I still remember.
You're a great writer. So Z, tell us about your drawing. Why do you think it's a piece of cake for you? How did that happen for you in your life?
Ever since I was little, I've had a talent for sketches. I think it's easy for me to translate something into drawings. Hope I said it right.
Absolutely, you did. Fantastic way of expressing that. So you're an artist.
In a way, yeah, sort of.
I used to be an artist. Now that I'm home, I can show you some of my little paintings that I've made in my lifetime.
Okay.
After the class. Remind me after the class and I'll go find one.
Okay, all right.
Omar, what's a piece of cake for you? Something that you find really easy and you seem to be able to do it well.
Swimming.
Why is that so easy for you?
Because I love swimming.
Yeah, it's true that when you love something, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to tell me about a talent or something that they just have always found easy, or something that they've worked hard until it became easy? Soccer is a piece of cake for Omar. Actually, Omar's a wrestler. He's a professional wrestler. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is one of my mother's favorite idioms. So, who would like to read it? Nobody?
Preaching to the chair. Chair?
Choir.
Choir. Yep. Preaching to the choir. What is preaching?
Preaching is like trying to give a lesson through repetitive speech. Telling somebody what they should do and how they should do it.
Okay. Choir is a group of people that sing, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. You are preaching to the choir if you are talking to people about a subject when they already agree with everything that you are saying.
Okay, so why is the idiom preaching to the choir? Where does a choir sing many times?
At the church.
Exactly. So the choir sings for the church. Preaching to the choir means telling them something they already agree with. Because they work for the church, so they probably already agree with what you're preaching about. So to preach, it has a few different meanings. In this case, it's to deliver a religious address. But now we're using it, religious address, speech. But now we're using it as an idiom, and so we're using it to say to anybody, not religiously, okay? So let's give me an example, Michael, of when you might, if somebody were to say something to you that you already agree with, when would they be preaching to the choir?
About human rights.
Human rights.
Yep.
Okay, very good. Human rights. What about Leonardo?
Yes.
What is something that you strongly believe in? Tell me one thing that you strongly believe in. What's going on?
In what I believe?
Something that you strongly believe in.
Honestly.
Honesty. Okay,
Yes.
so let's put that in a sentence using preaching to the choir. You could. Anybody?
Recycling, pollution.
Okay, so if I said to you, Amp, you need to make sure that you recycle because you know what? Pollution will destroy the planet. Don't you know what it's going to do to the planet if you don't recycle? Garbage is going to fill the entire earth. What would you say to me?
You don't need to preach to the choir.
Yeah.
The choir.
But you got to say it with attitude. You got to say, stop preaching to the choir.
Okay. If Amp say me, teacher Abby is the best teacher, I say to Amp, don't don't preach into the chair.
How did you always find a way to make it work, Ali? It's a talent that you have.
Piece of cake for Ali.
It certainly is. It's a piece of cake. Someone else give me another example of when somebody might be preaching to the choir for you, your personal feeling or opinion. Fidel?
I don't know. It's someone talk about politics, politics inclinations, and that kind of stuff. Games votations days, and they want you to vote for the same candidates that they want to. They preaching to the preaching to the what? Preaching to the
Choir.
choir.
Choir, yeah. So the idea is that the way they are telling you something is intense. That's why we say it's preaching. Preaching to the choir. It's intense and it's over the top, even though you already agree. Okay, so maybe you both want to vote or you both have the same political opinions. You might say to somebody, you should vote for this person because they're the best one. Don't you understand? And you're saying, yes, I already agree. Stop preaching to the choir.
So it didn't apply if you're in a disagreement, right?
Exactly. You agree anyways, so stop getting excited about it. That's the idea.
Can you say instead stop preaching to the choir? To say like you are preaching to the choir. Stop telling me that you are preaching to the choir.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use this one in many ways. You can say, I might be preaching to the choir, but I want you to know this and this and this, even if you think the person might agree. It's just for emphasis sometimes.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Anybody else? Let's go. Whoops. What happened to my... Okay, read this one for us. Amp, do you want to read that?
To pull someone's leg or chain is to tease them or play a joke on them.
Very good. Can you think of an example of pulling someone's leg or chain? We don't say chain, we say leg in Canada. Chain sounds a bit rude actually to us. But why don't you try using that in a sentence, Amp?
I bought a Ferrari yesterday.
Are you pulling my leg?
Of course.
I bought a Ferrari yesterday. And then the person could ask, are you pulling my... Or you could say, no, I'm just pulling your leg.
Yeah.
Okay? Another example?
I have a salary of yearly. How do you say it? So I have a yearly income of $1 million.
I have a yearly income of $1.
$1 million.
$1 million. I have a yearly income of about $1 million. Are you pulling my leg, Michael?
No, that's true.
Okay. Anyone else? Give me an example. Ali's example is going to be, I hate Abby's classes.
Are you pulling my leg?
Okay. Anyone else?
I lost 20 kilos of fat in 1 week.
That doesn't sound very healthy, Leonardo.
Yes, it's not true.
You're pulling my leg. Stop doing
Yes.
that. Stop pulling on my leg, please.
Okay.
And then Z, I like what you said in the chat. Can you ask that?
Can I what? Yanking someone's chain.
Exactly the same thing. But I don't know
Okay.
why. For me, that sounds kind of rude. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't say it.
it's a slang. I don't.
Yeah. It's like a rude way of saying pulling your leg. Are you yanking my chain? I don't know why. I just don't like the way it sounds. I don't
Okay,
like it.
I will use pull someone's leg instead.
Okay. That's probably a better option. Good. Excellent. So we know what that means. Now this is something that teacher Abby does all the time. Not literally. Maybe we could have Ali read it for us.
Okay. Put your foot in your mouth. To say something very stupid or foolish. To say something that you shouldn't have said.
Okay, give me an example, Ali, of when you might accidentally put your foot in your mouth.
Okay. Say something very stupid.
Let me give you perhaps I should give you an example because it's not just saying something foolish or stupid. For example, let's say me and Amp, we go out for coffee and she's talking about her family, or maybe she's introducing me to herself and I don't know her, and I say something like, you know what I really hate? Or you know what career I think is really stupid is being a teacher. And then she says, oh, I'm a teacher. I would say to myself, wow, I really put my foot in my mouth. It's when you say something offensive to someone close to you without even realizing it. Okay? Yes, Amp, that is a classic. Say that one for us.
Are you pregnant? And the other said, not at all. Well,
Z, you do that. Z, oh my goodness. Z doesn't know the rule. Never ask if somebody's pregnant, even if they're full term. It's not a good idea. Ali, what was going to be your example?
I don't know. I don't have any example right now.
Okay, that's a good one. Are you pregnant? Saying that you hate something when somebody right there has that very thing. When I was in Mexico, I said my least favorite name is, and I'm not going to say it now because that would be doing it all over again. And then the person that was with me said, oh, that's actually my name. That's my real name. Things like that. That's putting your foot in your mouth. Okay, now we're going to fill in the blanks with the appropriate idioms. Let's start with Z. Can you read the first one for us? Tell us about Paul and then give him some advice with an idiom that we talked about today.
Hey, Paul, if I ever see the president in person, I'll punch him in the face. Advice, uh, don't, don't, I I don't know. Don't put the foot in your mouth? No, no. I don't know.
Don't put your fist in his mouth.
It's about pen and
Don't put
sword.
a pain in the neck. No.
No, pen
Pen.
and
No, no,
sword.
no. Pen is mightier than the sword. Oh, there you go.
Yay!
Oh,
Yeah, that's punching him might not accomplish much, but perhaps if enough people write letters, it will. Good. Okay, let's read this little mini dialogue. Let's have Fidel. Can you read that for us?
Okay. Penny, these are the best cookies I ever had. Pat, I know, they're great. I buy them every day. Penny, they're so good. Try this one. Pat, I don't know. This one. Uh, I don't know, Abby.
Or think about it. Anyone have an idea of what it could
Choir.
Preach to
Choir.
the choir.
Choir, yeah.
be? Okay, there you go. Do you understand why, Fidel? You're preaching to the choir?
Oh, yes.
Why is she preaching to the choir?
Because we are both agree with it that the cookies are good. So
Exactly.
you are rambling. You are rambling about yourself. You're rambling, saying the same.
I like productive at all. Okay, the next one, Leonardo.
Yes. You are late again. Why can't you be on time? Uh, you were late yesterday. Uh, can't.
People in
Class. Live in class.
Can't remember now.
people in glass houses shouldn't do what?
Ah, but
True.
Throw
Stone.
true, true stone.
throw stones, exactly. It's killing you, Ali. It's absolutely killing you. You can't resist. Okay, next. Michael.
If you get an 8 on the test, I buy you a new BMW. Really? No, I'm just. Let me look. Mhm. I'm just piece of cake. No,
Michael, come on.
I put your foot in your mouth.
Well,
No,
No,
I'm just putting my foot in my mouth.
it's
No.
about leg, not foot.
He's not being serious.
free, no, I just pull my leg in your mouth. No, pull your leg to summon pain.
Are you serious?
Pulling your leg.
I'm just pulling your leg. Or yanking your... Michael, were you serious? Did you really have it that confused?
Well, honestly, this is a new one. Pull your leg, and about choir for sure, it's new. They kind of, I think they are not. I don't know. I never seen them.
Okay, so what you're saying is I did a terrible job of teaching you these idioms today.
No, why? It's good to know them, but I never seen. I used to come more to like business idiom classes. So.
Okay, I'm just pulling your leg, means I'm just joking. I'm teasing you.
Okay.
We thought Michael pulling our leg.
I did. I thought he was pulling my leg. Oh my goodness. Okay, next idiom. Let's go over to Amp. I think it's your turn. Can you do the next one for us?
Polly was giving a speech last night when he made a joke about his boss. He didn't realize, however, that his boss was in the audience. He really put his foot in his mouth.
Very good. You mean put his leg in his mouth. Put his foot in his mouth. Excellent job. And the last one here, actually we can split it up. Ali, you could do the first one.
Can you help me with this math problem? Sure, it's a piece of cake for me.
That's a good one for you, Ali. It's a piece of cake. And then to finish it off, let's have Z read it for us.
Peter, can you help me with this whole page of my math homework? Philip, okay, I guess. Peter, can you just do my math homework for me? Philip, you're such a jerk. A pain in the neck, pain in the neck. Do it yourself.
There you go.
Such a stupid.
There you go. A pain in the neck. You're such a pain in the neck. Excellent. I was worried you were going to say you're such a choir or something like that. We've got ourselves completely confused. Okay, good job, you guys. I'm probably all red from laughing. Thank you for coming to the class today. Are there any questions before we close? Okay.